Today, I hope to teach you about stem cells. Stem cells are an issue for a complex moral debate, an intriguing part of our bodies, and an interesting new technology for medical research. Through this video, you should gain a new understanding for this exciting field and hopefully have some fun in the process. Let's get started. Many of you may be asking yourself, what is a stem cell? Well, a stem cell is an undifferentiated cell that can give rise to other stem cells or cells that are destined to be differentiated. Now this definition is confusing, but it does tell us one thing. In order to understand stem cells, we must understand differentiation. To understand differentiation, we have to start at the very beginning. At the beginning of embryonic development, we start as a zygote. A zygote is a fertilized egg. This cell divides rapidly and produces more specialized cells. Our bodies are made of a collage of different cells. Whether it's a fat cell, a neuron, or a muscle cell, each of these cells comes from our original zygote. Though these cells are all offspring of our original zygote, they are very different from each other in both structure and function. For example, neurons have long branching arms that transmit signals long distances, while fat cells will have a large storage space to store excess food. The process by which cells learn these new jobs is called differentiation. What's so special about these cells? Why are we intrigued by them, and what can they do for us? Medical researchers are interested in stem cells because of their unique potential to create other specialized cells. Stem cells have the possibility to create any cell, tissue, or organ in the human body. The benefits of this technology are limitless. This technology could revolutionize the field of human prosthetics. Rather than making a robotic arm, we could grow a new one. Finding blood donors could be an ordeal of the past. Instead, we could grow blood identical to the recipients in a moment. Instead of having patients die on an organ donor list, we could synthesize our own organs. Also, stem cells found in bone marrow are one of the few treatments to leukemia that we know of today. Finally, stem cells are optimal for testing other therapeutic methods. Some of the diseases that could be cured with stem cell research are Parkinson's, ALS, cancer, AIDS, heart disease, and even diabetes. Like most aspects of science and medicine, the possibilities are endless. Now, what's so wrong with these stem cells? And what's all this hullabaloo about morality? To understand this, we need to know where we get our stem cells. For regenerative purposes, researchers are interested in pluripotent stem cells. There are two places where researchers obtain these rare and valuable cells. They can be found within the inner cell mass of the blastocyst, or they can be extracted from terminated pregnancies. In 2009, however, the National Institute of Health prohibited the use of terminated pregnancies for stem cell research. Now the blastocyst is the only sanctioned source of pluripotent embryonic stem cells. The blastocyst is a structure that forms 5 days into embryonic development. These blastocysts are leftovers of in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization is a process where a zygote is formed externally, cultivated, and later implanted back into the womb in order to treat infertility. In total, 400,000 embryos are in cold storage in the US alone, and approximately 2.8% of these will be discarded. So you know the facts, but when it comes to the stem cell debate, there is no exception for the real thing. That's why I invited two brilliant minds to discuss their views on the subject. I hope that they'll serve as accurate representations of their side's beliefs and rationalities. So please welcome Emmett Carner and Emmett Carner. Why, thank you, Emmett. Thank you, Emmett. So, Emmett Carner, I'm going to give you the floor first. I'd like to start this thing off by saying that stem cell research has thousands of applications and could save millions of lives. That is true, but stem cell research destroys innocent lives in the process, even those of unborn children. Terminated pregnancies are no longer used for stem cell research. Now we use in vitro fertilization. And in that case, these embryos that you are talking about are only in the blastocyst stage, 5 days old. They're nowhere near being human beings. It doesn't matter how small they are, it matters what they will be. And the fact of the matter is that these embryos that you're sacrificing have the possibility of being fully functioning human beings. Why does it matter? Thousands of embryos are discarded from in vitro fertilization anyway. We're not really sacrificing any of them. First of all, there should be more of a burden on parents to accept these unused embryos. Secondly, just because these embryos are going to die does not mean that we can use them for our personal gains. You would never use a dying man's organs, would you? We have the technology to turn adult cells into pluripotent stem cells. Why isn't that technology being used? Why do we still need these cells? These pluripotent cells are nowhere near as effective as embryonic stem cells. Also, they are way more likely to form cancerous tumors. And there you have it, two intelligent men having a rational conversation. However, too often these debates end up looking like this. You want to say that to my face? Okay, let's settle this. Why, I oughta... Gentlemen, will you please sit down? Well, that's all there is. I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you learned something new, and I hope you formed your own opinion about this complex issue. Goodbye!